Welcome to this episode of Grassroots Advocacy. I'm really glad that you could join us. If this is your first time joining us, I'd like to encourage you to go back and review the previous episodes. This is actually our 31st, pardon me, I was about to get tongue-tied, our 31st episode. So there's a lot for you to look back at if you'd like to. What we're going to do today is really, up until this point, much of what we've been doing in grassroots advocacy is talking about how to serve as the voice of our nation's frail, elder, and disabled citizens at the bedside, in your center, in your community, and in the nation as a whole. How we're moving forward is we would really appreciate your participation in this process. And it's very important that you participate because people will learn best by hearing about situations that are occurring on a day-to-day basis in the post-acute, long-term care, and assisted living environments. And so we really are going to ask that you share those experiences with us. Now, since we've had 30 previous episodes, I wanted to take a moment and review why we're doing grassroots advocacy. So if we could please take a look at this statement. I believe that our nation's frail, elder, and disabled citizens deserve every benefit that they have earned. I believe that as human beings, they are entitled to being treated with dignity and respect. I believe that just because they've moved from their natural home or another care setting into the post-acute and long-term care environment, that they don't have to give up their rights as human beings and as individuals. I believe that a majority of nursing assistants, certified nursing assistants, licensed nursing assistants, state-tested nursing assistants, all of the different folks who serve in the post-acute environment value the men and women that they care for at a very high level. In fact, as I visit our member centers across the country, that is the number one theme or the number one comment I hear when I ask people why they came to long-term care and why they continue to stay in long-term care. Because I believe that so strongly, and because I feel like you believe that as well, we have an obligation to serve as spokespersons for our residents, for our neighbors, for folks who reside in the post-acute and long-term care environment. It's really very important that you share your stories. Now, I understand that some folks might be a little nervous because they don't want to necessarily have their name associated with a particular situation. So in the future, if you want to share a situation with us that you're experiencing in your care setting or that you're experiencing in your community, it's okay to submit that and say, I would like to remain anonymous. We won't put your name out there if you don't want us to. Now, there are a variety of ways for you to get a hold of us here at NAHCA. The first thing you might do if you wanted to have us consider your issue or your concern, or if you would like advice, the first thing that you can do is you can email me personally. My email address is jwellman@nahcacna.org. Another way that you can communicate with us is by calling and asking for Jeff Wellman at area code 417-623-6049. You may also communicate with us through Facebook. NAHCA has the NAHCA Facebook page, and you're more than welcome to message us that way. It's really important that you share your perspectives and your concerns with us, and when you do that, we will include those in future episodes of Grassroots Advocacy. We'll talk about the issue that you define, and then we'll talk about some different strategies or approaches that we can use to address those concerns. Now, I mentioned earlier that this is our 31st episode, and so I'd like to wrap up today's segment by reflecting on one of the quotes that we used at the very beginning of the Grassroots Advocacy series. Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. If people all over the world would do this, the world would change. William Faulkner. Until next episode, be well.